last time on Dragon Ball Z.
He's one of those characters that in the new timeline actually has a timeline that's not so different from his old one. There's just tweaks here and there, but it's still important to cover them, especially...
How has the lore changed exactly? What new character developments are going to take place? Find out today.
Hey, what's up guys, it's Mark Yoon, and today I'm bringing another hopefully exciting video. So today is Friday, so you guys know what that means. It is our weekly community video. The video where I give back to the community and just highlight some of your responses and requests and comments throughout the week, from some of my favorites to some that actually make a lot of sense and need to be addressed. So with that being stated, let's just jump right into it. The first comment I'm going to talk about is from Metal Raptor, and he says, "Great video, Mark. One of the sections of lore that might be worth covering is the Black Wind, which was Siegfried's group from before and after turning into Nightmare. Interestingly, the group that served under Nightmare was called the Black Storm." I am going to be doing more videos based on the new lore. I'm actually going to end up covering all of the characters. I'm interested whether you guys want me to do the guests or not. So feel free to leave a comment in the comment section if you want me to cover some of the lore based on the guests. I think it might be pointless, except for maybe outside of Geralt, who actually does have stuff in the story. But as far as how Morrow and 2B are concerned, I'm not sure if it's necessarily a good thing for me to cover lore with them, because they have lore in their own games and they're not really a part of the series. But just let me know in the comment section down below what you think about that. Ashton Bird says, "Sorry being late to the video. I forgot you have one every Monday through Thursday." Thank you for the plug in the comment. Personally, I like Keelik and his backstory. It was interesting to say the least, and it was a bit sad. Keep up the fantastic work, Mark. And thank you, Ashton, for keeping up the fantastic comments. I appreciate it. Terrence Sproul says, "Great video, G. Keep Keelik. Keelik is my favorite character, and I don't like what they did with him in Soul Calibur 5. Loving these lore videos." Thank you. I like making these lore videos. I think out of all of the fighting games, one of the reasons why Soul Calibur is my favorite franchise is because it has such an intensely unique lore. I mean, we can say games like Mortal Kombat do the same or similar to any effect, but I feel like they go more in depth in Soul Calibur. I mean, I could be wrong, that could be just based on perspective, but to me it seems like they spend a lot more time with each character's history and past, but some characters more than others. So I would actually say they're pretty equal, but I like Soul Calibur for its lore. Roxas3 Sora XXX says, "No, thick you." Well, thick you very much, and thick you everybody who's always commenting on my videos, and thanks for constantly watching and supporting the channel. I appreciate you all, especially you, Roxas, thick you. Antoine Hampton says, "I love Seung Mina, and I don't mind her personality in this game, but I have to admit, seeing Hwang all throughout her story and in Libra was great and worrisome at the same time. It made me think, well, since he's here, so much he won't be playable or have his own story. I was ecstatic to see the leaked DLC info, but I won't be 100% happy until I see official Hwang announcement, as he too is my favorite character in the series. I know this isn't really Seung Mina related, but it makes me think of Hwang every time she's mentioned." Well, I'm glad that you're hyped for it. I'm hyped for it as well. Hopefully we get some news on Setsuka sooner or later so that we can finally move over to start worrying about when Hwang is going to come over. Not saying we should just move past Setsuka, because I do like Setsuka, but Hwang is my favorite character, and having him back in the series, especially in this iteration of the new timeline, is surely going to be interesting and great, and I want to see what they do with his character. Hopefully they put a little bit more into the lore than before of his character, but seeing Seung Mina in this game still leaves me a little iffy whether they're going to go full on into the Korean aspect of it or just make him some generic Asian dude. But we'll see. Yeldell GW says, "If I recall, Mina became a bit self-conscious about her bust size in this game, if the dialogue against Ivy is anything to go by." And Solar Flare retorts with the actual quote, "I'm not jealous, not one bit." And yeah, that's hilarious. I mean, Seung Mina's not really non-endowed, I would say. The developers obviously know what parts of her personality to to focus on. If you can see her clothing style, which is definitely not traditional Korean style hanbok at all, but I think that maybe that is a point of contention with her, but then it also goes against her new personality with, like, being jealous about that, or maybe that's the reason why she doesn't want to get married. Like, I don't know, she's weird. Like, she's a big conglomeration of mixed emotions, but that line leads to even more of the confusion. I should have covered it in the video, so thank you for bringing it up. Jacubus says, I did enjoy the fact that she was the only one with self-narrating instead of some random narrator. For me, she's fine. Personality-wise, I don't complain because she is the younger one here. She probably matured later once Yoon Song was around. With Hwang as DLC, they could incorporate some nice Joseon Korea-style outfits for women with his DLC pack. I was thinking about that also. I'm not sure if they'll actually give women's-style hanbok with either Hwang or Yoon Song, for that matter. Because the male clothing attire is completely different from the female hanbok, but it would be nice if they actually do go in and do that. But with some of the things that they do with Korean characters in this game, I'm not sure if they're actually going to have the wherewithal to do that, and I'm not sure I even trust them to do so. So we'll see. But the personality about Sungmina, I actually agree with. This is the young version of Sungmina, so we're probably going to see a big character arc with her throughout the next iteration of the game. And continuation of the story, we're probably going to see her grow more into a confident warrior and protectress like we see her in the past. Or maybe they'll change her personality completely, who's to say? Well, I guess we'll just find out, right? Crimson Knight 20 says, I see what you mean about her lore, but I personally don't mind it. I know I was guilty of this, but in my opinion, Mina, along with some others, was a character I didn't appreciate until I saw her form in Soul Calibur 5 and was happy to see her return in 6. This may be a way to keep her interesting by giving her a Yoon-esque young one learns to grow up through some hardship storyline. But I agree that the arranged marriage thing was not my favorite either. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, going more into that in Korean culture, especially back in like the Joseon dynasty and areas around that, there wasn't really arranged marriage at all. It was families would combine their strengths and forces by marriage to either enhance the land that they were on or to gain higher positions in society and things like that. But when we're talking about even lower society, which that would be what she was in, because she was like part of like the palace guard, because she was the daughter of the Doshan master of the main, martial arts temple of the entire area, so that would make her royalty. And even with the peasantry, like, most of the time they would just marry for love. There was never like you're getting married to this person for this reason. It was mainly up to them, and it was more of a business area transaction thing. Not to say that it wasn't for love or based on that, but a lot of it was that. It definitely wasn't like a system like in India with arranged marriages or anything. It had nothing to do with that. So I thought it was weird that they actually incorporated something like that. Crimson Knight 20 also follows up with, actually, in some of Mina's battle dialogues, she does say Dojan the correct way in Korean. And yeah, I talked about him in the comments with that. I was mainly going based off just the lore itself, but it's nice that Sungmina actually has those lines of dialogue in her action play. I think the reason why I missed that is because most of the time I actually play with my created characters. I mean, they gave us 100 slots this time, so I tend to go ham with them, and I try to create lots of interesting people, as maybe you'll see in the background of this video. But, that's... I don't know, I really like the created characters, so it's hard for me to like delve back into the individual characters, which I probably should at some point. Roxas 3 Sword XXX also says, Tira, she's a great character, fantastic and original fighting style, and I like her the most in Soul Calibur 3, but I like the costume designs from 6 was heavily designed to be a homage to her Soul Calibur 3 costume while still being modernized with her now design. Yeah, I do like her new design. It's pretty cool, and I actually did like her a lot more probably in Soul Calibur 3, but you guys know I'm really biased in that aspect because Soul Calibur 3 is my favorite Soul Calibur, so I can't really, I guess, get too much into it because you guys know that I'm totally biased against that game. It's my favorite one. Metal Raptor says, I honestly feel that Soul Calibur 5 would have gone a lot better if they had just made Tira the primary antagonist, having Patroclus be the one who she kidnapped instead of Pariah. It would have made a lot more sense and would have worked a lot better that way. I also think that she would be interesting after Cassandra broke Soul Calibur, the evil part of the sword, and have lingered in the vicinity. And when Tira showed up to restore the broken Soul Edge fragments, the corrupted aspect of Soul Calibur could have passed Tira, giving her a third personality, Gaudy. That would become the antagonist of Soul Calibur 5. Over time, Jolly would grow attached to Patroclus, while Gloomy would care less about the kid, causing division of Tira. But Gloomy would also hate taking orders from the new intrusive personality, also suggesting reading a quick article on the Soul Calibur wiki about Soul Calibur evil as it relates to this subject. I will probably cover that again. I mean, it seems that, like, in the series, most of the good and evil aspects come from the astral chaos and come from the swords themselves. They're more of, like, an actual, like, representation of those, I guess, I don't want to say aspects of reality, but of those ideas, of those concepts, similar to how you see comic books do it. Like, DC has, like, death, and, I mean, Marvel does as well, as, like, an actual, you know, physical version of a concept of the universe. Seen with, like, a lot of the Celestials and stuff like that, too. There's, like, a lot of that going on in fiction, and I kind of think it's interesting. But I will definitely check out the article, and I will get back to you. Solar495 says, Tira is always a favorite of mine. I love how everything about her, from her design, her underboob for days, and to her character lore. It's too bad I suck with her and her playstyle. Yeah, she is kind of hard to use her playstyle, especially because she's, like, changes stances so often and does, like, a variation of different moves, like, with the same button presses. So it can be kind of hard to master her, and I myself haven't even perfected that, so I don't blame you. DeathXUL777 says, that sounds like Siegfried's story. Good video, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I haven't compared it to New Lore Siegfried yet, but we'll be covering that this week, so I guess I will find out, and thank you for the compliment, I appreciate it. Bob Mila Play says, I like the idea of Soul Calibur messing with Voldo to steal Soul Edge from the Money Pit. Yeah, I think that, like, a lot of that stuff's going to go into. We're going to have, like, a whole litany of videos based on what-if scenarios leading up to Soul Calibur 7, so look forward to that, and hopefully you can see some of my opinions based on what you just said. SolarFlay95 says, let's thrust our pelvises in the air like we just don't care. Yeah, Voldo, whenever I think of him, I just think of being pelvisized to death, so I guess, like, we can all do that in conjunction together to talk about his lore. Metal Raptor follows up, to be honest, I doubt if they're going to change Voldo by much, but if they do have him become a wielder of Soul Edge, then the sword would probably pretend to be his master in order to manipulate him. Yeah, I was thinking about that a lot as well, and that's probably going to lead into my videos upcoming about characters that are become malfested or possessed by Soul Edge or Soul Calibur, respectively, and that was actually leaning into what I was going to say in part of the video, so don't get ahead of yourself, Steve, let me get to it. Roxas3SWORXXX says, so I actually like the idea of Voldo being controlled by Soul Edge. It's an interesting concept, and I personally think that they should explore it. I mean, hell, he can make a fantastic side antagonist for the future of the series. I do hope Shiba comes back, though. I really like this hair. As far as Shiba, I doubt you'll ever see any of those replacement characters ever again. Soul Calibur 6 is a reboot of the franchise because it's probably trying to change 5 in all actuality, so I don't actually think we're going to get a retirement per se of, like, the main cast of characters anytime soon. We're probably just going to go along the sides of every other fighting game where they just, like, kind of never age and say that they do. Patriots1112 says, this is what we've all been waiting for, the feature presentation. And as a Voldo fan, I knew that he would like this video, and in part, that's why I wanted to push it out so early, because I feel like I've shafted him with Voldo content and videos, because I'm not really a Voldo user. So this one was literally for you, Patriots, so keep it up. Ashton Bird says, you're the reason I'm still interested in Soul Calibur 6, because the wait for the content has discouraged me a bit. Thank you, but waiting for content is always kind of discouraging, but especially with Soul Calibur 6, it's one of the few games that we actually have a lot of single-player content when it comes to Soul Calibur. I haven't seen this much since 3, so there is a lot to do while we're waiting. Like, a ton of people still haven't played Libra of Souls, which is a huge mode and is canon to the lore, so everyone should literally jump on that. At least do the good side or the bad side, like, once, just to, like, see the story. You don't have to do every mission, but just, like, go through the actual story. It is, there's a lot of tidbits and a lot of hidden lore in there that people will find interesting. I know a lot of people haven't played it, because if you get the first trophy that you get from Libra, because you do get a lot of trophies or achievements if you're playing Xbox on that mode, when you get the first one, it says, like, ultra rare, and it's, like, literally just for playing Libra of Souls. So if that's an ultra rare trophy or achievement, then I know that not a lot of people have played it. So I would personally recommend that you guys jump on that if you are looking for something to do and running out of like character creation slots and stuff like that. There's always a ton of stuff to do in Soul Calibur 6. Jacobus says, I kind of wish they would make Money Pit a stage with the same effect as the Pirate Cove in Tekken 5. The gold floating around, walking, or falling on the ground. As I said earlier, I'm kind of glad that there was no rivalry with Yoshimitsu this time. Hopefully this will remain as is. I have to agree with you about the rivalry. I think they could do a lot more stuff with Voldo than just have him be a rival to Yoshimitsu, which is another character that they have no idea what to do with, so hopefully they change a lot with him. But as far as the Money Pit, it's my most requested stage to come back. That's what I want the most, so hopefully we get to see the return of that soon. And thank you for the comment. That's going to wrap the video up for today, guys. Thank you for all your comments throughout the week, and remember to leave comments on next week's videos for a chance to appear in Friday's community video. I've been getting an influx of comments recently, so I don't show everybody's. It's not that I didn't like your comment or didn't find it interesting or valuable, but sometimes they're repeated and reiterated by other people, so I kind of just go with the one that has like the most covering, the most information to talk about, and then I just throw that in there. So keep up the great work, guys. You're an awesome community. These videos are for you, and I can't wait to see you on Monday. And as always, thank you. Thank you. Hey, what's up, guys? Have you always wanted some sweet Mark Yoon merch? Maybe a Thick You shirt, maybe a shirt from Squirt, maybe my pretty face with my logo all over your body, or a throw pillow, or blanket, or anything? Well, you're in luck, because I just launched my merch store, and it is going to be available on Redbubble, and you will find a link to it in my description box down below. It's got a lot of quality content, and a lot of good stuff for you to pick up, so you can show your support for the channel, and just rep Mark Yoon. Alright guys, as always, Thick You.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Next time, we dive more into the Soul Calibur 6 lore and find out more information on our favorite characters and mythos. Stay tuned for next time.